Hey grade 8s, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to talk about newspaper editorials. Newspaper editorials are found in pretty much all news media. And it's basically what it is by someone who works at a paper or someone who's writing a column, and they are giving their opinion about an issue or something that is going on in the world. What is this PowerPoint is going to talk a little bit about editorials. A little bit of background is the editorial belongs to a journalistic genre and consists of an expository argumentative text. So, an argument, usually unsigned or unsigned, which means anonymous, or it could be someone who works for the paper that explains, values, and judges a news event of a particular importance. So, what that means by that is they they give their opinion on something that is going on in the news. It is a collective of opinion and institutional judgment formulated and following the ideological line of the medium. So what that means is that a lot of the times newspaper editorials are political in nature, and they're usually arguing for the political standpoint of the newspaper or media outlet they belong to. In other words, it's an opinion or a comment that the publisher makes about the news and is written according to the experiences of the publisher or the editors. The primary objective of a newspaper editorial is to provoke several debates and interpretation among readers. So it's to get people talking about a topic and sort of formulating their own opinions on something. Basically, editorials is traditional to the newspaper text and usually appears in an important place, so probably about the middle of the paper, within the opinion section of the media outlet. Although the editorial does not have a signature since it summarizes a collective opinion, there are journalists in charge of writing it and so-called editors. So basically, a lot of the times it's echoing what the news outlet or the media outlet believes, but it is written by some of the more seasoned editors or publishers of the paper. The editorial starts from an important news of the present time and tries to guide its comment the opinion and it's a comment the opinion of to the opinion of the reader. So what this really means is, so it takes something that is important that is going on in the world, and it makes an argument either in favor or against that. So if you think about your Meiji newspaper assignment, what that basically means is, if you were to think that it was a newspaper back in the time, it would be talking about sort of the changes that was going on after Japan started to open up its borders to Westerners, and a newspaper editorial would be writing whether or not they think it is a good thing that Japan is changing or it is a bad thing, and it would give a couple of reasons for the changes. So what is an editorial's function? The publisher can fulfill several functions at the same time. The editorial functions are to explain the facts and their importance, give background, so it sort of contextualizes what is going on, maybe make guesses on the future, and it makes moral and value judgments on what is going on, and sometimes it can even be a call to action or a call for the readers to do something. So, what does an editorial look like? Um, an editorial is as the order of interest is increasing. So what it means is sort of it follows. So each paragraph to the reader should get more interesting. So what happens is there's usually three main parts. It sort of the first one or the first paragraph sort of talks about the topic and gives a little background information on it. So this would be sort of, if you're doing a Meiji newspaper editorial, this would be where it talks about how Japan has changed, the reasons why it's changed, and maybe Japan used to be like and what it is now. Then what would be you would talk about is the analysis and discussion. So your arguments. So if you're doing the Meiji newspaper assignment, what that would be is you would talk about the change, and then you would decide if it was a good or a bad thing, and then you would give one or two or three reasons why the change is either a good thing or a bad thing, and then finally you talk about the consequences and the conclusions. So you would talk about what might happen if things don't change, or you might talk about how the future is going to be great because of the changes. So once again, if you're doing the Meiji newspaper assignment, this last part you'll talk about how maybe in the last part you'll talk about because of Japan opening up to the Westerners. Uh, Japan is going to lose its culture, and this is a bad thing because Japan won't be an independent nation anymore. Or if you're doing that the change is positive, you can talk about how in the future Japan is going to become a powerful empire. So it's really these are the sort of three main parts of any newspaper editorial. And there are different editorial types. So there's an explanatory one where it explains things. There's a thesis or opinion, which it gives a favorable or unfavorable opinion about a topic. So this is the kind you guys are writing. And according to social function, it can be informative. So it aims to give knowledge. It can be interpretive, which means it tries to make sense of something that's happened. It can be argumentative, meaning to respond to something that someone's done or someone said, or of action is it tries to move people to action. So these are the different editorial types, and this is just a little bit of background information on the editorials. So, but I think the most important slide to remember is this one, and make sure when you're doing it, you are doing these. Uh, you are doing these 3 steps in sort of this order as I circle them terribly. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions, as always, please contact me and get in touch with me. Have a wonderful day.